Hey YouTube, Sean Forney here. Just wanted to do a follow-up video of the 1951 John Deere Model M, and it's not a resto. This is an old resto, but what I am doing is a 20-year after restoration freshening up, if you will. So stay tuned, I'll show you where I'm at. Okay YouTube, here is the 1951 John Deere Model M. And while I'm showing you this, I'm going to show you this. This is actually a Deere & Company, John Deere 1847 tractor seat. And what's unique about this one, this was a cool storage unit find, is it's got the corn husks on them. A lot of them do have the Deere, but most of them do not have the corn husks. So I'm going to sandblast this and get it repainted. But now back to the John Deere. So as you can see, my garage, I should be working on this on my pole building, but it is a mess of parts. I have boxes everywhere from everything that I've done on this tractor over the past 2 weeks. So it was not running, as you remember from the last video. It was sitting down in my field. The carb was flooded out. It was leaking down and it was just a mess. So long story short, I wound up taking off the carb, got the rebuild kit. There were 2 parts in there that were seized, so I decided to get a rebuilt carb. Now this one still was in the raw finish. I wanted to make sure I got it dialed in right, then I'm gonna get it painted. But this is a TSX 530, which is interchangeable with the TSX 245 carburetor that was on here. So the carburetor has been replaced. The tube that goes from the carb to the intake has been replaced. That was a pain in the butt to get on there. I also replaced the gauges, and those turned out very, very nice. Had to take a Dremel and kind of make the holes a little bigger because there was so much gunk and stuff in there. The new gauges didn't want to slide in. So I have one of the original gauges over here, I'll show you. So here are actually both the original gauges. Now these were original to the tractor. So both of them, the amp meter gauge and the water temp gauge, you can see we're just beat up, rusted out. So that being said, it was quite the job to replace those gauges. You had to take off all the sheet metal, which is pretty simple. Just these little flat heads, turn them and they come right off. But then I had to take off the gas tank and all that other good stuff. So in addition to the carburetor, I did replace the plug wires, the spark plugs. I also replaced the coil pack with a flamethrower coil pack, just helps it with a little more spark. I did get a new cap and button, but for some reason that it did not want to turn over. It wasn't getting any spark, so I put the old cap and button back on it and it started just fine. That is the port where you screw in your temperature probe for the temperature gauge. So, I mean, this has been quite a fun little project. The only other thing that I have left to do with this thing is these are the old Mylar stickers that they sold that were very popular, but also very cheap. And it was a cheap alternative to people whenever they were doing restos. Now this thing was repainted and restored about 20 years ago. It's a pretty decent resto. It's in overall good shape, but you know, these stickers, you can just tell they're old. They got dirt in the, around them. So I wound up buying the actual John Deere Model M vinyl stickers. As you can see here, it's just gonna be, you won't see this clear plastic if you look close. So it'll just be a much better finished look. So overall, this has been quite the fun project. I love messing with these old tractors. I love replacing, I also replaced the points in the magneto, and setting the gap is quite fun. But You know, this has been a fun little project. I do have some touch-up spots that I'm going to hit with the paint. They got the chrome stack on. So far with this tractor, I've done a pretty much engine tune-up completely, all the way down to the carburetor, the magneto points, plugs, wires, coil, gauges. I put this chrome stack on, and of course, it wouldn't be a nice little chrome stack on an old tractor with a little flapper. So, I mean, the tractor, in my opinion, for what I'm going to use it for, because I'm actually going to put it to work on our farm. It's going to be used during the haymaking process, probably plowing the garden. It'll pull a rake, but I'm going to be pretty much done with it. So it'll go out of my garage into my equipment shed here soon. And I have a surprise for you guys tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. I'll do a video, the same place that now again, I won this at an auction for $2,100. And what I did not realize is that this tractor came with a bunch of original implements: a 2-bottom plow, a sickle, a harrow or harrow, however you say that, and a bunch of other random odds and ends. So while I was out there looking at this, the equipment, the gentleman on the farm wound up having the original hay rake that they bought with this thing. It's an old steel-wheeled 1950s John Deere side discharge hay rake. So I wound up buying that too. And then in addition, he also had a hay bind, and I broke mine this past hay season. Now it's easily fixable, but I like having spare parts. So it's a 9-foot cut John Deere hay bind. So I bought it also. So I'm going to pick up all the implements which are original to this tractor. Apparently he had somebody from an equipment dealer come out and look at some of these implements, and they were just blown away by the condition of these things. So I'm excited to get them picked up tomorrow, but everybody stay tuned. This is just a little update video. It is very, very late here right now, or I would start it up for you. But I will also keep you posted once I get all the stickers on and all that good stuff. But thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions about this particular tractor or anything else, any cars or anything like that, feel free to ask the question, and make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button. Thank you all so much. Stay tuned.